Yo, yo, yo. I I don't know who put us all back in stream as I was doing the intro there, but thank you because I forgot how to do that. I'm so used to Jason doing this these days.
I got you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate
He's
it, man.
like just like riding a bike, Jason.
We're all back. Feels like it's been a couple months since we've all been here, so it's good seeing y'all, and it'll be a good episode. We have I think I don't know if we'll get to them all. We'll see if we do. We have 7 Marzens and Festbiers. There's a little bit of echo on somebody's end too. Yeah. Somebody has an echo too, but I don't think it's me. Well,
Tell me if
figure
you're
it
going
out. Okay, test.
Hey, there it is.
Yeah, I think it's you, Jason, somewhere or another. I'm sorry, buddy. You're fine. Go fix it.
Yep.
We'll do what we do. So yeah, hey, welcome everybody to episode 85. Just didn't want to
85.
have it all be
Every
super
time it
accurate.
amazes me that we've done so many episodes.
I know. I mean,
Like-
quote unquote episodes. It's basically just us sitting around drinking and talking about whatever happens to come to mind. The Sunday before the episode airs. Sometimes we plan stuff up in advance.
Wasn't it Travis that brought up like, hey, maybe we should do like a behind the scenes or something? We're like, it's the Sunday beforehand, man. There's like nothing going on. Like, what are we talking about? This. All right.
This might have been Saturday, or did we determine Sunday on our episode today?
It may have been Saturday.
I don't remember. We did back in 2020, right around this time, we did a Oktoberfest episode, or maybe even like a beer style episode on Marzens and Festbiers, and I don't really know if we nailed it or not. We'll go into it a little bit this episode, but mostly it's just us drinking some homebrew examples that we got, a couple from me, one from Brandon Edwards, and then I think we have a Polliner, a Hofbrau, a Hacker Shore, and something else, some other commercial examples. So we don't have anything poured yet. So
some other commercial example.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Should we? Well, I don't know. Yeah.
I was like, I knew there was 3. Like, what was that third one? I forgot too. I had to look.
What are we starting with?
Well, do you want to do like a sort of I don't know. You want to set the style for like a Marzen, and we can pull like I don't know. The Hacker Shore is my favorite, so if you want to pull the Hacker Shore, we can pull the Hacker Shore maybe.
Let's start there.
So I want to show this while we start pulling beer here. Let's see if I can share my screen here. So I bring this up occasionally. This is the quick reference guide I made for the 2021 BJCP styles. If we scroll down a little bit here, we have a Festbier compared to a Marzen. And so if we just want to look at some vital statistics here for the two styles while we start pulling out the Marzen, we can see that the carb should be about the same. The body should be the same. IBUs just a touch less appropriate on a Marzen, but not by much. We can see the original gravity on Festbier has a little bit more leeway. It can go all the way up to about 1060, per the style guidelines. Same with the final gravity, since it's starting a little bit higher. The ABV is about the same. In fact, even maybe a little bit lower for Festbier. It tends to be, the newer style Festbiers out in Oktoberfest tend to be a little bit more drinkable, and so maybe a touch less alcoholic. But the color, I'm sorry, this is the Marzen. Yeah, you're right. So the old style potentially, I guess, a little bit less alcoholic, but the color you'll see is going to be a lot more orange. And I have a fancy Dollar Tree Stein that I'm drinking out of, because that's like the only Stein that I had, but I figured it was appropriate. But in terms of vital statistics, the two styles are pretty close to the same. drinkability though, and like actually tasting them, you tend to find that the Marzens have more of a melanoidin flavor, so more of like the bread crust sort of flavor. That's what gives like the crust of bread, like a lot of its different flavor and maybe a little bit of like perceived sweetness is those melanoidins. Um, but yeah, I mean, beyond that, I think that fest beers tend to be, for me, slightly more maybe bitter. Not in like a pale ale or anything like that, but maybe the lack of melanoidins helps bring out the bitterness just a little bit more.
Yep.
But that's something we can maybe talk about as we start getting them and drinking them and stuff like that. So, without further ado, let me open mine while you guys share your first impressions.
Color. It's like you can see the color on it. I mean, it's a little harder because I have a little Oktoberfest Stein I'm drinking out of, but I definitely like a deep, well, it looks deeper on the screen than it does like in real life here, but real life, whatever.
Yeah.
So are these? Oh, go ahead.
I only have 2 glasses unpacked, so I went with the widest mouth that I could.
I'll give this a little bit
for
of a
quicker
hardcore
delivery,
here.
right?
Knock out some of that CO2. So, are these styles of beer that you guys dig or like look out for? When the season comes out, brewing them when the season's not in effect.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite styles. Festbier, Marzzen. I kind of go ham every single year and just buy as many as I can find. If I see it, I'm probably going to buy it. It's love them all. So yeah, absolutely.
Last year we did. I know. I don't think it was 2 years ago, but anyway, last year I believe we tried a bunch of Oktoberfests, and most of them were Marzens. And I would say that like last year, I've actually started kind of avoiding the Marzens just because maybe it was the ones we were trying. They just seemed a little too malty and sweet. I think more of those were locally crafted Marzens. I seem to remember Rochester Mills. Anyway, a couple other local ones, but nothing compared to this Hacker Shore. Like this Hacker Shore is still clean, crisp. It's got that lager characteristics with a malt balance. So I really dig this. I would say I'm definitely more into the Festbiers the last year. I'm kind of burned out on the malty.
Tim's kind of feeling that too. He says Festbier.
Yeah, Festbier over Marzen.
I would agree with that statement. I feel like Festbier has a little more of like a honey character rather than bready.
I'm kind of with you, and again, I think that maybe that's sort of the melanoidin, whether it be from decoction or a melanoidin malt or something. But when I drink this style of beer, I get a flavor maybe like in the back of my throat, or like maybe like I know you can't really get a flavor around your diaphragm or something, but there's this lingering sort of like depth of flavor. It's a little bit of a sweetness that sort of travels down a little bit, and it's not really sweetness. It's not sugar or anything like that, but it's that sort of flavor that I don't get in fest beers often. So it's definitely coming through in this. I don't get it in a lot of American examples. I think that there are, I think that there are American examples that use maybe like caramel malts or crystal malts to get that flavor or sweetness instead. And I don't know if it's as traditional, but they're still good, but it's just kind of a different take. I guess you can call it the American take on a German style or something.
One of the last sentences in the description of a Marzen on the BJCP forum said something about never heavy or cloying, and I feel like, and I'm not going to pick on any particular brewery because honestly I can't remember which ones. I just feel like the local craft varieties we had were kind of in that sweeter end, almost heavy cloying side of it, which I think has put me off. I've been kind of, I love Michigan beer, I love Michigan brews, but I've purposely avoided Michigan brewed Oktoberfests recently.
Jason, I'm with you 100% on that. I think I've found one labeled Oktoberfest that I will buy regularly. I try them all like whenever I see them, just because I say one of my favorite styles because I'm thinking of these guys like Hacker Shore, Polliner, Spaten, and that's what I'm chasing. Like I'm waiting for somebody to try to accurately clone these beers or actually do it, locally. And I have faith that somebody can do it. I think we can.
Lori's telling us to check out the Frankenmuth one this year. So
I don't think that was one of them last time.
I don't know if I've ever had it.
I don't think I have either. I'll admit, like, I'm not usually a go-to on the Frankenmuth brews. I don't see it too much around here on the on the west side.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I'd be down to try it. I was just going back to what you said, Brian. Like maybe I think the local breweries trying to get by with caramel malts or colored crystal malts, or maybe that's the problem.
Well, here's the thing, and I totally get it too, right? So let's say you buy, they're not buying melanoidin malt in 8-ounce portions or something like that. If they get a bag, it's probably going to be like a 10 or 55-pound bag or something like that. What else do you use melanoidin malt in that is regularly brewed? I mean, you can throw it into some random beers here and there, like maybe a little bit in some darker beers, like a Dunkels or something. Maybe it could be yummy, but there's not a lot of breweries making beer with this particular malt, and so I get spending money on a malt that might just sit around could be a pain. Also, if they don't want to go that route, I don't know many breweries around here that could pull off a decoction with their equipment, probably without a lot of effort. Right. Just thinking about how it works, or at least not like a thick decoction, like boiling their grain and then transferring it back to their mash. I don't.
There's not really a good way to make that super easy, like on a mass scale.
Yeah. But man, this one, damn tasty. And going back to what Tim said, Festbiers over Marzens. I'll still go back to, what was it, like 2 years ago, Brian, when I told you the same thing, like I avoided Festbiers, and you're like, no, because you're like, I was thinking of a completely different beer, and you educated me, and now.
I think that was on maybe our Oktoberfest episode. And I don't think you're the first person that I've talked to that's, had that thought too. Like I tell somebody, here, have this Festbier, and they think it's going to be like cranberries and
yeah.
I do.
I remember that now.
Like that. Yeah.
I used to think a Festbier was a winter warmer almost.
Sure.
That was what I was thinking of, which, God, I hope we'll never do another winter warmer show, or at least
did we do one?
We did one. It was horrible.
Oh, no.
I think it all came down to we all generally dislike winter warmers.
Oh, I remember that. I bought the Shiner Bock or the Shiner Cheer and
Shiner Cheer, yep.
And some other stuff, yeah.
But no, I just
I do remember that.
Growing up through beer, I saw a Festbier and associated it with that winter warmer style and avoided it like the plague. And now I don't anymore. Now it's
I don't really see a whole lot of domestic Festbiers. I think I've found I think I regularly find one legit Festbier, and I think that's from Weihenstephaner. And I'll occasionally find it at Megabev, or I think Meyer once had it. But yeah, I'd love to see more of those styles around here, because I am with you. They're generally a little lighter on the palate, a little easier to drink. I mean, Marzens are great, easy drinking beers, but I think a Festbier kind of takes that up just a notch.
I'm trying to remember what it was. I found one. might have been a Wolverine that was really good. And I'm pretty sure Territorial.
Wolverine does an awesome job. They are like king of loggers around here. Territorial too. They absolutely kill it. Old Nation too. For the ones that I can get distroed, I still have not been out to Old Nation. But I hear they have a lot of stuff on. No, but I hear the tap list is really good.
Man, I've been to a brewery. Brian hasn't. That's surprising.
Yeah, it's insane. I haven't been to Wolverine either. I've only had their stuff
Never
when
been
it's been
there.
distributed. But yeah, I hear amazing things from all my Ann Arbor people. So
no,
definitely need to get
a
up there.
couple of times. It's pretty awesome. I'm trying to remember if it was that's the Festbier though. I'm trying to find it.
Onewell has a Oktoberfest out right now that appears more like a fest beer. I don't know if you've seen pours of it. It's a far lighter color. It kind of sits in between the two styles for me, maybe. Like it's maybe like lacking a little bit of like, I don't know, character that like a Marzen would have in color and stuff like that. But it still is like a very malt forward bready like lager, like maybe almost more towards like a Vienna or something like that though. So it's a really good beer though. Definitely
I'll have to try it.
Checking out. Yeah, I think they'll have it for a little bit longer. I can't imagine that they wouldn't. What are you finding, Jason? So you're looking for something?
I'm not. I'm scrolling through their beers and it just makes me want to go over to Wolverine and drink. The other thing, I don't have the glass. The guy, one of the brewers at Wolverine left and actually opened Five Shore, which is we had Ellie on. Thank you, coming in clutch there. And I believe he's still doing some cool lager beers up Five Shore way too, but.
I didn't know that. That's
don't get up there as often as I'd like.
Or maybe I didn't know that and I forgot that. We'll go with that. That's cool.
Yeah. I'm not finding what was in my head, but whatever. Check out Wolverine. They're good.
Yeah, I'm sure they have to have a Oktoberfest on right now or something.
I feel you, Casey. Yeah. Actually, I would avoid spruce winter warmers too. But
have you guys ever brewed with spruce?
Yeah, you and I and Art did once in my garage. Remember?
I wasn't sure if there was spruce in that or not. Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, and there were a lot of spruce in that, and my batch came out tasting like green peas, I think, which I hate, so I dumped it. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just reading Tim's comment.
Yeah, I was just reading that too.
Yeah, we in 2020 we went over this whole history, the whole history of Oktoberfest and how it was originally Marzen. So I was back in the
6 breweries that could actually brew for it,
which is still a thing.
That
kind of swapped over in the 90s. So there's only 6 breweries that can brew Festbier, all one word. So it's what like I know we have to look this up every single time. Let's see if we can do it. It's Hackershore, Hofbrau,
Palmer.
Yep, Paulner. Is Erdinger one or is that
Lowenbrow?
Lowenbrow. Yep. I don't think Erdinger's one.
Was that 4 or 5?
Augustiner.
Augustiner. Yeah.
Augustiner, and then Staulich.
Did we say Spaten?
You did say Spaten. It's Augustiner, Hecker, Shore, Lowenbrow, Pauliner, Spatenbrow, and Staulich. Somebody else will fucking correct me. Stat, which is Hofbrau Muken. Just cough and you'll get
I'm seeing Augustiner, Heckershore, Hofbrau, Lowenbrow, Pauliner, and Spaten.
Hofbrau is the middle name.
Oh, okay.
Then it's it's Hofbrau. Yep.
Hofbrau House. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the Stotlich's Hofbrau. Whatever.
But yeah, it's if you taste these two beers and maybe we can do that if you want.
Just move over to the polliner.
Yeah, we can open a polliner just to get like a quick side by side, just to set the show, and then go back into maybe some of the homebrew examples or something.
Absolutely.
I gotta go get glassware for that.
Okay, no worries. I got Are you done with yours, Jordan? Yeah. Yep. Clink. All right. Let's see what we got here.
Oh, wait a second. That's not my 6-pack. Hold on. I got to go actually grab it from the other room.
We said Hofbrau, right? As I'm the only one left on the stream still. So
now I have the only other glass not packed.
Jason, we said Hofbrau.
Hofbrau.
The Hofbrau Oktoberfest beer, right? That should be it. This is their Festbier.
How come it doesn't say Stottenlichen on the
So we're gonna expect the color on this to be more like of a golden color. And as it's pouring out here, I definitely see that. Oh yeah. So it's more, I would call it like a deep yellow.
This is
or like a very light gold.
A lot more straw colored.
Definitely not as orange-ish as what the Heckershore Marzzen was. So let me set my bottles aside.
Oh, this is the actual Oktoberfest beer. So this is different than the Oktoberfest Marzen. Kind of.
So,
I mean,
yeah, if you were to go to Hofbrau House and sit under their tent for Oktoberfest, this is what you would be being poured. Granted, this has been shipped over here and it's probably had some aging and whatever, but not quite as fresh as what you'd get, right off draft, but whatever it is. Let me know when you've got your pour, Jason.
I do. I was looking for a date.
I kind of wonder, because I got a pack of these polliner beers and it came with some what they call like München lager, I think. So I think it's supposed to be like a Munich lager or what have you. And it's definitely a lot more like, it looks a lot more like this. It definitely feels a lot more Festbier-y.
Okay.
I'm curious. And it's the only one in the pack that came loose packed. Like everything else has got this nice 6-pack holder that came in the big 12-pack. And these ones are just kind of like in.
Bye.
Yeah. So like, I don't know.
So
fucking delicious.
Yeah, smelling it it has that same sort of breadiness that the Heckershore Marzzen had, but it's a little more hop forward too, not in a bitter way, but in just sort of a more of like a floral sort of hoppiness.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I didn't really,
very pleasant.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I didn't really get that in the Heckershore.
No,
so again, different style, but
ready.
Yeah. Tasting it is still very malt forward. Still get some of that bread crust. It's not as deep or rich or sweet as the Marzzen was, but it's more refreshing to drink.
Absolutely.
Very much.
I think it tastes like it finishes a little drier. Like I set it down right now, and I want to put my hand on the mug and pick it back up again and continue drinking it.
I didn't take mine off.
You didn't know. Whereas with a Heckershore, like it's not sweet enough where it's like I'm gonna sip on it all night, but it has the sweetness or the perception of sweetness where I just kind of want to let it sit there for 30 seconds or a minute, and I'll drink it when I'm not
side by side
right in my mouth. Yeah,
Heckershore has just a very noticeably sweeter finish.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I would, and I'm not going to go get a third one, but I would almost bet that like Bell's Oktoberfest is going to taste like candy, like comparatively.
Which we have in our lineup, so maybe we can try that next and sort of verify that. I've found Bells and Founders to be some of the more, in my opinion, I think, authentic tasting, but I don't think I've ever done a side by side with others like this. It's usually I buy a 6-pack, I drink that 6-pack, I move on to my next 6-pack of.
So I've never done a
styles.
side by side of like Bells alongside like some of these European styles, which I'm excited we have some.
Same.
But I've definitely done like Bells, and I've definitely done like I've went to Megabev and picked out a bunch and tried them side by side.
Or if we did it 2 years ago in
we did, yeah,
in 2020. So it's good to have like a reset or a reminder. I mean, shit, we should do this every year. I don't know if we did it in 2021, maybe. We'll have to go look. But Tim, he says his bottle of Hofbrau is a little skunky. This is the second 6-pack of this I've bought. My first one definitely had that, and this one does not. This one I've found refrigerated, so I'm attributing that to maybe a little bit better storage.
Yeah, I don't get any skunk off of it.
No. But I totally did on my first one. So yeah,
like I want to go out and like I'll make a pretty bold statement here. I would set aside hams for the next month or so and just drink Hofbrau's October.
I'd be with you.
Yeah.
And not that hams isn't delicious and as easily, crushable, but it's also a little drier and more boring. Like I think it's as drinkable as hams, but it's more fun.
Yeah.
Because it just has more like flavor and complexity.
No, this checks all the boxes, right? It's crisp, it's clean, it's crushable,
and you're a little bit of that hop flavor.
It's got more characteristic. Just it's got more than hams and an American light lager. It's just fucking good.
Tim, I used that Bayern strain from Omega on what did I use that on? I used it sometime last year on something and I really liked it. I want to see what your impression is. I've been doing so much dry yeast lately that I think I have it banked even, but I have so much dry yeast and I've been using so much dry yeast lately that like I feel bad for like neglecting all my little creatures.
Your yeast bank that you spent a couple of years building.
Yeah. I think I might make a keepers post. I'm just going to have to be like, listen, I have these vials that I'm not going to keep because I'd probably just rather use dry yeast. Do you want any? And keep a couple special things banked. Like I think I said an episode or two ago, I still can't find a dry Scottish yeast. Just something that like has a dead stop at 10%. And is really malt forward. Everything I could find is like 12% or 8%. And I really like using that for my big stouts because I can plan on where my residual sweetness is going to end roughly. There was something else, but that's the big one. Saisonstein. I think that's my favorite Saison yeast as of right now, which Omega does. So I'll probably keep those two banked at least. But man, like Verdant and Diamond, Colne even is like a great dry yeast for like the Kolsch styles and stuff, or even really any clean ale that you want, or maybe something that you want to have like just a little bit of pep to it or something. You can use a Kolsch yeast, like whatever.
If we do, I haven't gotten it to use Diamond yet, but if we do, I know we were talking yesterday about potentially doing a batch of American light lager. I'd like to use Diamond.
We should.
I'm loving Verdant. I've said that I think 100 times. So all about trying Diamond and lagering that son of a bitch.
When you take into account, like opportunity cost, using like a vial of like liquid yeast and all the time it takes to make it, and the cost of the DME, and just all the effort that you have to put into it versus like $6 for a pack of dry yeast that gets you, the same if not better result, because it's like packaged in like ready to go state with like in like prime ready to go fermentation. Like I don't know. I will still absolutely do my yeast starters when I need to, but damn, like I've been very much team dry yeast lately. I wasn't back when there wasn't all these options. Like people were using USL5 for literally every style of ale out there. But there's so many options now that I wonder too, and I wonder what's going to happen to these liquid yeast companies as people sort of start to discover like, yeah, like I'm paying twice as much for, essentially something that spoils quicker.
Shit. Sometimes 3 or 4 times as much.
Sure. Yeah.
Like,
has the same amount of, has the same pitch rate as like these liquid packs. There's still so many more varieties of yeast available in liquid form for the people that want to experiment and stuff. I've just sort of gotten all of that out of my system and finally narrowed down what I feel works for me for like 90% of the stuff that I'm doing these days, though. So that may change next year. I think I said, maybe I didn't say it. I don't know if I said this in another episode, but I since joining the Master Homebrewers program, I've seen just how many styles I haven't made before.
Yeah,
I can't remember if I pulled up my sheet last week. I'm pretty sure I did.
You pulled it up last week.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at it and it's like I've brewed maybe like 15% of the BJCP styles that are out there now.
Yeah.
And I ranked up to Grandmaster 1 last week, by the way. So
hey, congrats!
Yeah, thanks to Mazer Cup. I pulled a 44 with my Sweet Traditional, and that got me over the hump. So that's pretty cool. Shout out to Matt Harold, who runs that program. I messaged him, and he's going to be on the show sometime in. I think we're going to shoot for October. He's also the creator of the Mean Brews YouTube channel. So
cool.
We met him at HomebrewCon this year. Great guy.
Hell yeah.
Super good brewer. Super good brewer. His sheet is public on the Master Homebrewers program. Go and look up his rap sheet and his high scores on some of his styles and stuff, and it's wild. I think he's recently gotten into mead, maybe even a year or two before me, and he's killing it there too. So yeah. But anyway, I know I went off topic. That is sort of
no. So I kind of want to crack this Bell's. I finished Hacker Shore, and I want to go into a different Marzen.
Did you finish the Hofbrau? I hope.
No, the Hacker Shore, the first one we did.
So we're on the Hofbrau.
Yeah, you were doing side by side.
Oh, Brian and I were done with the Hacker Shore.
Fuck you guys.
It was like 10 minutes ago. We can remember the taste ish enough. I guess.
Doing it.
Do you want me to open it up and just drink out of the bottle?
No, I got it. Or do it. You do you. I've only got 2 glasses.
You want to chug, Jordan?
No, I do have another glass here. I think.
Chug.
And it lasts.
It was very carbonated. Is that why you like it this year? Like it was.
That might be. All my lagers I dig. At the higher end of the style. Most of my beers I do. I've been pouring my beers a little heavy-handed too, just to knock some of that carbonation out even. Because I know we're going to be drinking a lot of them tonight, and it tends to be a little bit more filling if you don't do that. But we'll just finish this.
Oof. I don't know what it is. I usually have a space heater in my basement because it gets cold as shit down here. But for some reason this time, like it's boiling down here. Don't mind me while I strip a little bit.
What I thought, drinking Hofbrau next to Bell's Oktoberfest. I don't know why I got that in my head. But Bell's Oktoberfest does have candy quality to it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
sweet. 2 different. This one's Bell's.
Yep.
And that's the Hofbrau.
Ooh,
so
Bell's
a little darker. Yeah. but not as dark as the Hacker Shore was. So I've always kind of thought that the Bell's Oktoberfest kind of sat in between like your traditional Oktoberfest Marzen and a Festbier.
They call it a Marzen now, right?
They do, well,
Yep.
no, oh, they do. Yeah, it's at
Yeah.
the bottom there.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm reading it. Hold on.
it looks a little. No, Jason's gone. It looks a little lighter than I think the Hacker Shore was, even, or is it?
I'm here.
No. This is Hacker Shore.
Oh, you had the side by sides.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this
How are you
Bell's-
drinking the Hofbrau?
Hofbrau's in here.
I thought you said that's the Hacker Shore.
Excuse me. No, this is yeah. I got all the bottles right here. I looked at
Okay,
Hacker Shore. This is
okay.
Hofbrau.
Okay. Yeah. So it
Hofbrau.
should be darker than the Hofbrau. It's honestly not as clear
No.
either, which is whatever. Bell's is unapologetically unfiltered or whatever they say. But if you look into it, it's still very clear, but it's certainly not the brilliant clear that we've seen in the last two beers.
Yeah, it's close, but it's not like. Of course, this could be a dirty glass. I don't know.
It's not. I mean, it's a whatever for me though. Generally, like I love clear beer, and it makes me happy drinking like a crystal clear beer. But it's close enough or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's fine. I wouldn't be scoffing at a beer that was like this. I mean, looking through it, I can still see my fingerprints on the other side of the glass.
Yeah, sure.
So, like, it's fine.
So, Jason says candy-ish
compared to the Hofbrau.
So, granted, again, this is a huge ass mug for these beers. My first impression on the aroma was that it's not nearly as intense as the last two.
No,
it's almost like non-present. And I gave this a good hard pour.
I mean, it's still good. I'm just saying it's got some of that malt. It's got especially even maybe retro nasal. Like after it's gone, I get a sweetness.
It's sort of missing that lager character that the last two had. If I were to make a Marzen with like a very clean ale yeast at really low temperatures. Now, I'm not saying they did this. Obviously, they obviously didn't do this. Bell's has a lager yeast that they use, but it very much tastes too clean, if that's a thing. It does have a little bit of sweetness, but it's missing some of that crispness, that finish that makes it just really drinkable. And it's still really good, but yeah, drinking it side by side, even
I want to say the body's a bit heavier on the Bells.
Sure, I'm with that.
Maltier.
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting. That malty sweetness.
But I'm also not getting like the breadiness, like
hold on.
I want to say it's almost more bitter. I mean, I guess it should be if it's a Marzen then, or no, I can't remember the sheet as opposed to the Festbier.
They're all pretty much straight on with like the vital statistics.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying like this, the Bells taste a little like I feel like there's a little more hop presence to it than the Hofbrau.
Yeah, I can totally see that. And I wonder, if maybe that's not an American thing. Maybe we tend to edge on the higher end of bitterness for some styles. As I drink this and let it, kind of settle into my throat and stuff, I do get that same sweetness or like depth of malt flavor, like sort of in the back of my throat that I got with the Hacker Shore. which is nice because I like that for the style. It's not like a high ABV, but it's one of those beers that kind of like makes my ears warm for some reason. I don't really know what it is.
Yeah.
But I just have those like associations in my head. It's probably something that happened like when I was 22 and just it's like in my subconscious now. I know. I wonder if I should get another glass so I can like taste some of these side by side because we still have some homebrew examples to get to and stuff too.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if I should just grab a couple glasses because now I want to pop a polliner and have it all along these as well.
Is that what you gave us, Jordan?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That was the Oktoberfest Marzen.
Okay.
Yes.
I probably should have given you guys the München lager.
That's whatever.
That's closer to the Festbier style, but
we're learning.
Right.
I am gonna go grab another glass so I can taste the polliner side by side with the bells. I think actually I want to do that.
Right.
I like that.
I'm just
Actually,
gonna man up and slam this one. So
I'll be right back.
No, polliner has been my favorite.
Jordan, more importantly, while he's gone,
Yeah, what's up?
how's fish camp?
Oh, it was a blast. It wasn't quite as crazy as the previous year, but it was definitely a lot better than it was the year before. So
the year before, which was my year.
Yeah, which was your year. Yeah, we were actually fishing pretty close to the same spot where we were, out at the beach. We were downriver a little ways. But yeah, I ended up getting one to take home.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was the only one to put one in the net, or no, excuse me, Chris did, and I was using my new net, and the net depth wasn't long enough, so as we were pulling it up to shore, it kind of just kicked, and out of the net it went, and
oh no,
back into the river. Yeah, yep, yeah, it was highly unfortunate. So Chris lost a brown of mine last year, and I lost a salmon for his this year. Now we're even. That's good. But yeah, no, it was a good time. It was absolutely a good time. Oh, he's gone. Okay.
Do a little bit of a heavier pour here too.
I'm not gone. You just don't need to see me blow my nose on camera.
Oh, all right.
I don't know, man. Maybe some of our viewers have like fetishes that we don't want to.
That's a different market, man. We got to age gate.
I got
the polliner right there.
Dark, right? Like
as opposed to the bells.
Oh, you know what? No, not really. Honestly,
not much darker. It's definitely. I feel like it's lighter than what the Hacker Shore. Pardon me, what Hacker Shore was, but maybe a touch darker than bells.
Pretty damn close. Clear again.
Yeah, very very clear.
Again, maybe not quite the nose that the Hacker Shore or the Hofbrau had. I don't know if that's like a brewing thing. I wonder.
I'm gonna say between bells and the polliner smells sweeter.
It smells not quite skunked, but like it's been sitting for a minute or something. Like I taste it, and honestly, it doesn't have as much flavor as the bells does to me.
Yeah, it is very muted. Yeah, in terms of bells, absolutely.
So you drink it, and it has it is a amber lager. Like it just has one flavor, sort of. And you drink the bells, and it sort of goes through these phases of being a little bitter on the tongue, and then this deep, rich maltiness, if not a little sweet, and then finishes sort of like dry and maybe a touch bitter too. But the polliner, it's good, but it's just very one-dimensional, you know. It just sort of has that like breadiness on the verge of like, you know, bread crusty, melanoid anything that just you drink it straight down and it's gone. And I'm not saying either are better or worse. In fact, actually, I think that the Polliner is more drinkable. It's one of those beers that you don't really think about. You crush it, you're sipping on it, you're talking to people. All of a sudden, it's gone, and you open another one. The Bell's is almost like, not offensively, but like it's a complex beer that's good in its own right, but maybe it's more of a lager that you sit down and think about, and you're like, damn, yeah, okay, like I see what's going on here. Like you're in the middle of a conversation, you take a sip of it, and you stop to like look at it, and you're like, oh yeah, all right. But not a ton. They're both great, you know. Just trying to compare and contrast here.
No,
is what I get.
Yep. Also, I guess the other thing is that I should say, I don't know if you guys put yours in the fridge at all, but I pulled mine right from my basement.
Okay.
And it's definitely probably should have had it cold.
No, I stuck it in the fridge as soon as we got home. So
yeah.
No, it's fine. It's mine's plenty cold right now.
Mine is not. Mine is very, very much.
Oh no. You might be getting
warm.
some other things than, you know, we're not getting. Like what do you think of that between the Polliner and the Bell's? Like what are you getting?
I will say that Bell's does have lingering flavors. Like there is more going on with it. But part of what I like about the Polliner is the fact that flavor is very much upfront, and then it kind of dissipates very quickly. Like, and that's what I think what makes it kind of a drinkable or crushable beer. Because I bought a few packs of, it wasn't just these. It came with their Heffy, which is what I thought was one of my favorites. I had a couple of them, and it felt like there was a lot more clove forward than what I remember. Had a pack, or there was a 6-pack of their what they call Salvatore, which is a Doppelbock. They had their München Lager, and then their Oktoberfest Marzen. So, but yeah, I think from going back between the Polliner Oktoberfest Marzen as opposed to the Hacker Shore definitely had a lot more of a deepness to it than the Polliner did. Maybe a bit more bready.
Yeah,
you know, a little more on the nose. I feel like the Bells, which I have right here, and the Polliner smell very close, but the Polliner like has a sweeter smell to it. Like it's not strong. Neither one of them, in my opinion, are very, very strong smells.
Yeah, they're both lacking. Yeah,
like. But I definitely get a bit more of the hop aroma out of the Bells than I do.
Okay. Yeah, totally. And I want to point out too, not that my Polliner is it's been sitting less long, but so this is a dollar store like Stein or whatever. I don't think it's like etched at the bottom. If there's anything etched at the bottom, it's just like a construction flaw. And this is the Polliner, and like if you look at the head retention on these, it doesn't really show up very well on the camera, but the Polliner is still good, but the Bells is like, it's great. Like there's still a ton of like really nice lacing on the glass. The foam on the top is still thick, even in the middle. The Polliner still has like a nice bit of like a ring of foam on the edges, which is still really good head retention.
I have the opposite.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So my bells that I've been drinking, like you can see here, there's like almost nothing stuck to the glass in
It's
terms of
probably my
lacing.
glass.
And then here, like I don't know if you can see it, but
Oh yeah, it looks
there's
great.
definitely still like
You know what?
lacing stuck to the glass.
It must be our mugs. These must have like just sort of like flaws or whatever at the bottom that just
But
sort of
also,
like
I will say
nucleate the CO2.
maybe it's cheating because feeling on the inside of the glass. I mean, this is like an Oktoberfest style glass, and there's bubbles there. The inside of the glass is definitely not smooth, whereas the one that I'm drinking is this is just it's a wine glass. So, and also that glass is probably dirty because I think I sampled some mead out of it and then just started pouring beer into it tonight because it was sitting right here. So
How's the mead?
it was all right. It was good. I think the longer it sits in the keg, the better it gets.
Yeah. What was it?
Yeah, it's my cherry mead.
Okay.
I've had it sitting in the keg just, on tap, for maybe a month now. And just occasionally I'll pull, just a sample, maybe about this much and sip on it at night. Just trying to get associated with the flavors and what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and analyze my process and what I can do to change it.
Yeah. No, that's good. You taking notes?
Trying to.
Cool. I was talking to Jason about a keepers meeting, potentially subject doing. I've talked about a few. We want to do the sour beer blending presentation, but I also thought about doing a like bench trial presentation on an like adding acids and tannins to meads in small measured amounts.
Yeah.
Just to sort of figure out if something like that is even needed. But yeah.
Speaking of sour blending, this reminds me, not like subject related by any means. Didn't you drop off a keg of sour for me recently, or was that Drew? Somebody did.
That was me out of our last barrel pull, I think.
That's what I thought, which was an ode, right?
No.
What was it? Wasn't a Flanders.
It was a blonde.
Okay, it was a blonde. All right, because I thought it was supposed to be darker, and I put it on tap. And I took a little pour out of it just to like see what else. I was like, this is fucking blonde. Like, the fuck is this? I'm like, okay, all right. Now I feel better. I was crazy thinking about what we had. The last one that we had was the Flanders.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I know.
Because I still got a full keg of it. So
yeah, okay, must be then.
Yeah. That was the tart till you shart. That's what it was that Drew had on last year's Michigan homebrew festival. I still got a keg of it.
That beer, I would pull off if you have it on tap and set to the side. It is A+ blending beer. I swear to God, it's so good.
Well, you have to give me. You're talking about the blonde?
No, the red.
The red's not on tap. It's just been sitting in a keg on CO2.
If you're gonna do anything with fruit, blend that. Blend like a gallon of that into it, and I swear it adds like so much more complexity.
So you're talking like a fruited blonde, and then just, or like a fruited sour, and then just
a fruited sour.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
My last two. So I've taken NHC medals the last 2 years in wild ale, and both of those had that red ale blended into it, and I just tapped something because I finally ran out of it. I just tapped something that a fruited blonde ale from the claw barrel that didn't have any of that red blended into it, and I had Jason over to try it, and I mean, what was your first thought on it, Jason? The first thought that you had, that you told me.
I can't remember.
You said it was boring. It was.
Oh, the cherry.
Yeah, it tasted like.
I was thinking cherry, I was going back to the text. The cherry beer that I just had yesterday that I can remember absolutely. Yeah, it was just boring. There was
nothing bad about it. There was nothing upsetting about it. It's tasty.
flavors. It had that. I think I told you it kind of reminded me of a Cherry Jolly Rancher because a Cherry Jolly Rancher doesn't really have a lot of cherry flavor. It has just sour and sugar.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. And it kind of has that, sort of lack of complexity. So
yeah.
I'm gonna bottle some off and send it into comps anyway, just to see what happens. But I might pull it back off and just use that as like a blending base. Like, who knows? Maybe blending, 32 ounces of a cherry sour into something else might just add like a touch of color and some weird flavors. But who knows? I don't know. We'll see.
But yeah, I think doing a sour blend. I've got two kegs of sour that I'm sitting on right now. So that Flanders, as you said, was great for blending, and this blonde ale, which honestly I tried it and I feel like it tastes great. There's not a whole lot of Brett to it, which I like. I don't like licking horses. But
I almost think that's why I don't like it as much right now. I think it's like I'd have to go try it again. When I brought it home from Drew's and tasted it, I was like, it's kind of whatever. He entered it into a competition. We'll have to ask him how it did because I think he just entered it straight up as is. I think it would be great for blending because it's not offensive, but it's also not great.
Right. It wasn't.
It's maybe. Yeah, it might be a little old.
I would say there wasn't anything about it that like popped out and was like, oh, like I get this flavor. It was just like sour blonde.
Like, it was better nothing... like 3 months before when we tasted it. We shouldn't have left it in the barrel as long as we did.
Well, just matured. But...
Live and learn. Yeah.
So I know I had to step away for a second. I'm sorry. You guys opened the pollinator while I was gone.
Yeah.
What were your initial thoughts on that?
So let's see here. This one is the pollinator. It was more clear. The color I thought was about the same. Now that it's getting lower in my glass, the head retention seems to be about the same. My Bell's one seems to have a little bit better lacing, but not by a ton. The aroma, I didn't get much out of either this or the Bell's. The taste for the pollinator was very much more one-dimensional for me, whereas the Bell's had a little bit more complexity. Neither for me were bad. In fact, the pollinator, I said I'd probably be able to smash a little bit faster just because there's less to think about in it. But if my preference were to be like, I'm going to have one beer in a night and call it good, I would choose the Bell's over the pollinator.
Okay. I feel like the pollinator is really boring.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that. And that's what I was telling Brian. Like, it's one of the reasons why I like it. Not necessarily that it's boring, but I think all the flavor is up front, and then it kind of just dissipates. Like, I'm not getting like anything on the back end. Like, as Brian said, you'd have, things back here or anything that you would, exhale back up to get extra flavors. Like, I don't get any of that.
I don't either.
You know, it's just, you drink the beer, you taste what you taste. And I still get, hops, maltiness. Still getting most of the flavors that I would get from, drinking a different beer, but they're just, it's almost all up front. And there's nothing left there.
Look at that. It's really clean on the finish.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like, what is that? I want to say it's like High Life or MGD. Tastes great, less filling. I don't know. No, never mind. I was going on a little journey. Disregard.
I like your journeys. We go on those often. The show would be much more boring without our journeys. To at least us. I mean, we're the ones, hanging out here an hour a week or whatever. We actually just hit an hour tonight. We still have all the homebrew to go. So
Just started an hour. Fuck, it's only been an hour. I was just looking at my phone. I was like, oh, we've only been here for a half hour, but it says 8:30, like not 8. Okay.
How you looking on your beers? I got a little bit more. So again, going back to the drinkability, this is my Bell's, this is my Polliner. You know, I've been crushing the Polliner just because that's where my hand kind of goes back to. It's just not complex. I've been talking and not even thinking about it. Just, I have both these beers over here. That's where my hand's been going. But it's just a drinkable, not super complex beer. But again, if I had to consciously choose one of these two in the night, it would be the Bells over at the Polliner so far, out of the Marzens we've tried.
Okay, I also have I've got one bottle of it left upstairs, Eyinger.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've had theirs. Maybe not.
I don't know. I kind of want to go grab it and like, now that I've got 4 bottles open here, and got 3 left here. What the fuck is 8 beers in a night? Like,
Brandon says, "Drink up."
It's like a seltzer episode, man.
Oh fuck!
You better be drinking with us, Brandon. Your beer's next, I think.
Yeah. So I'll say I have cheated a little bit because my bottles still have some beer in them.
That's fine. No, it's not cheating. That should probably have gotten like a dump bucket or something. So I'm only drinking like 8 ounces of all these.
Also, my wife is, well, you guys know Andrea. I say my wife because it's whatever. Maybe people who don't know, my wife's name's Andrea. But she's, I was telling her it was an Oktoberfest episode. She's like, oh well, if you have beers you don't want, I was like, I'll save some. We got 6 or 7 beers that we're going through. I'm not going to drink them all tonight. I don't want to sleep in the hallway. So.
Tim, I thought about this after the fact. So it must have been Sunday that we decided what to do. Because I instantly thought about you. I was like, shit, I should have grabbed
it was Sunday, yeah, because we would have brought some of the Wicktoberfest.
I know,
which was fantastic.
So Brandon's is the black Festbier.
It is. It just, Tim, just one more reason to move to Kalamazoo sooner than later.
Right.
I told him. There's a house just down the road from me that's up for sale. Okay, blacktop. That's what it is.
Oh shit, we're doing this. Okay.
Yeah.
Festbier from Brandon. Okay.
Is that what the label says?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
Very official labeling in green painter's tape.
I'm glad it's a Festbier. Well, it's in quotes.
I am too.
It is in quotes. This could be a stout. Quotes? I don't know.
I just really prefer the Festbiers. So
I would agree. Now, granted, I've only had a few actual Festbier examples. Now, the Hofbrau Oktoberfest beer, I guess I would count. But then, like I said, I think Weihenstephaner, I think, is one of the only German styles or German brands that I've had.
Weihenstephaner. That's how you say it. I don't know.
Yeah, which is a fantastic Fest beer.
I don't think I've had theirs. Where did you find it?
I found it both at Meyer and Megabev.
Oh, sweet.
Okay. Meyer, they had a small section in their Oktoberfest area, and they had 4 6-packs.
Yep.
When I was there, I didn't see it this year. This is previous years.
I
haven't been to Megabev to check to see if they have it, but I have seen Weihenstephaner other styles at Megabev throughout the year, so I'd be willing to bet that they probably have it. But yeah, definitely get it.
So let's put it side by side with the Bells. So Bells, Marzzen, Brandon, Festbier, lighter, a little cloudier, not
definitely
hazy.
Cloudier, not hazy, no, but definitely cloudier. And on my if I'm looking at this back to back, they are damn near the same color. Bell's is maybe just like a touch darker, but like just like a degree or two.
So perhaps
That
a
could be
little
the
dark
haze.
for the style. I have my hand over the glass right now. So let's see if I
Ooh,
the aroma is so much more than the Bells though. And
yeah, the
paladin.
aroma's like I get more off of this than I have any of the beers we've had tonight on the aroma.
It just leaks malt. Yeah.
Oh, you should see that.
Yeah,
It oozes. It's like dripping off the side of the glass. Yeah.
gross.
Not sweetness though, just
No.
malt, like melanoid-y sort of
Definitely.
sort of aromas.
No,
Yeah,
it
Brandon,
smells
malt. He says malty aroma. It is absolutely like.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there's something in the initial flavor. Gosh, I can't put my finger on what it is. It sparked a memory that instantly went away.
Is it a bad touch memory?
No, I think it was more like a candy sort of thing.
It is. It has that. So it has a. It's probably the sweetest beer that we've had tonight, in my opinion. But there's a. I don't know if I'm getting the same thing you are, Brian. But is it like right in the front? Like as soon as it touches your mouth,
it like forces its way like down your throat and into your nose at the same time. It's like fucking like you will taste me.
You're violating him, Brandon.
Yeah.
Orally
in a
violated.
Good way. Yeah.
So I get something on this. This touches my sour receptors a little bit. So I taste something that's like a touch. I don't know if it's hops.
Like right on the front of your tongue?
No, it's like sides.
Oh, on the sides. Okay.
Yeah.
And
I'm not. There, you have a name, Brandon. If this goes to competitions, this is what we're expecting. It's a great beer. Not saying it's sour by any means. Like there was something wrong with it.
Yeah, there's no off flavors. It's well brewed. Shayna, I'm sure you're listening. If you're not in bed, come try this because you are the.
I will say,
taster in the household.
The more I drink it, the less I get that.
Once to share his bad touches. Hi, buddy.
So I know this flavor, but I don't know what it is. And I want to make this connection.
Brandon, what
I
hops
want to have
did
this
you
flavor.
use?
I'm getting
good shout out, Jordan.
What? I missed it.
What hops did Brandon use?
Oh,
he's watching. I know you're there, Brandon. I saw you comment. Answer me.
I was gonna say I'm not getting any like memory reaction off of this.
Just Tet. Okay.
Tet. I see. I don't know Tet. I don't know the flavor by memory, so that could be what I'm tasting. Excuses, Brandon. He said he went to go grab one for himself. Move your kegerator closer.
I don't know if it's citrus.
That could be. That could give me the sour.
Citrus.
I want to know. I want to see what Shannon says. I just handed off the glass. She can instantly pick out these things. Like she has like 3 times as many like flavor to like memory connections as like anybody else I know. And then as soon as she says it, everybody else is like, "Oh yeah."
I feel like I get more malt on the nose than I do in the taste, but that could be just because that whatever that flavor is taking over for me. And granted, it could be that I've had all these super clean beers, and maybe there's just, since this isn't so filtered, if you will, that could be part of it. Maybe we should have started with the homebrew.
I think it's fun. It's fun.
Brennan, he says it's a warm fermented lager yeast, so there are probably some esters. Okay. Yeah, I could totally see that.
Excuse me.
Was it 3470, Brandon? And I know we tried this Saturday, but it tastes as great as then. But I'm definitely spending more time actually like thinking about it right now.
So I get what Jordan's saying with the sour. It reminds me of that like citric acid like dust on a forehead, or like a lemon head, like that very outside that instantly melts into sugar.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I'm getting the Shayna feedback right now. Was
All
there
right. Shayna Super Tongue. Let's see what you got.
she said
I didn't realize the bad connotations.
I know. I'm waiting for her to come back in here. Hold on. I'm looking.
Sorry,
So she said that she sees where you are getting the sour taste, even if it may not be wholly sour, the sort of citric acid, or tingliness or like flavor is there. Which I think, I said citrus too. She's giving me a glare out of the corner, so she's giving you a glare out of the corner. Yeah.
It's me.
Your corner of the screen. Yeah. He says he's using diamond, so yeah, I don't know, Brandon. Like I picked up citrus, so, and then Shane is saying like warheady
I don't know either,
flavors,
Brandon, but it's probably going to come out in therapy, buddy. So
really. So Brandon says if you pull up the Lalman diamond properties, it mentions acid in the flavor wheel.
That would be it.
That's so cool. It's so cool to be tasting that then. I really wonder if that's what we're tasting. Like,
yeah, like I still like out here, like it's the outsides of my tongue. It's weird. Like that's what I said. Like that's what I got like initially, and the more I drink it, the less I taste it because I think maybe those taste buds are just getting maybe tired.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like,
not that this is a bad beer by any means. Like this is fantastic.
It's not like sour, but it's when you said that, when you said acid, like have you ever chewed on acidulated malt? It's got that kind of characteristic to it.
So I wonder too if that's because it was warm fermented.
That could be.
Like all these yeasts sort of.
Man, 3470
does well at warm temperatures. I got to imagine it puts out something a little bit different when you're fermented at like 65 versus like 55. But what does their sheet say for? Man. Their sheet says 50 to 59 for this yeast in particular, but I think 3470 probably says something similar, and people use it for warmer shit all the time. But
that's amazing. I'm learning things about myself now and my own senses.
Yeah.
Like
this is young too. Brandon says 3 weeks, so
that is pretty young. But I'm going back to like Bell's, and if you saw me sticking the polliner bottle up my nose to try to get some aroma, like I can, and maybe it's because I don't have much in my glass and it's warmed up a little bit now, but I can definitely smell a little bit of that same flavor on it.
So what's cool about this is that the Marzen and the Festbier that I brewed were also made with diamond, but fermented at lager temperatures. Like they're fermented at 53.
Yay, let's get the difference.
So we sort of have like and I got to imagine that the recipes were very close. And Brandon is one of the best homebrewers that I know. So as far as like cleanliness and everything like that, like I've no worries about infection or oxidation or anything like that. I really think it's going to come down to perhaps like a yeast character thing.
No, and like I said,
and maybe like a recipe thing.
It is interesting. Yeah.
I didn't think this was a bad beer.
No, it's not. It's really not. In fact,
it's a great beer. I'd be happy with this if I had this on tap at home.
This is Brandon's, and this is still my Bell's.
Right.
I'm still drinking Brandon's more fast than my Bell's.
But Brian, I'm just gonna call out the next beer that we should open up. Since we're on Festbier to Festbier, let's get your Festbier. Not that we have to open it right now, because I think you're still like got beer. I still got beer.
I mean, I can start a dump glass because it's not like I need to drink like 7 12-ounce bottles of beer a night for people's entertainment.
I'm
People
gonna have to start taking Tuesdays off.
I know, man. Wait, we got a Thanksgiving party coming up, though, right?
Seltzer episode.
I mean, we kind of have to, right?
Like, time for what is it? Is it Seltzer 4? Seltzer 5?
I think so. Did you see Jason's eyebrows rise when you said that? His eyes went so wide.
Dude. I fucking live for those black.
I'll just have Andrea roll out some blankets in the hallway for me, so that way because that's where I'm gonna sleep anyways.
I may actually take that Tuesday off. We'll see.
Yeah.
So for those of you that haven't watched, or for those of you that tune in on the podcast, on Thanksgiving, it's a tradition now. We've only done it once.
Yeah.
But we basically open it up. Anybody can join the show.
Yeah, that's true. Was it last year we had Drew Jacobs on just randomly?
Yeah,
like an hour and a half of the show.
Hour 4, Drew Jacobs showed up and played a couple songs.
Yeah, it was like a 4.5 hour episode last year, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It's very much a Friendsgiving. Just fucking we basically send the link out to whoever the hell wants.
Maybe we could, you know what? Here's a goal. Maybe we should have the people who actually won shit last Thanksgiving on the show wearing the shit that they won.
They would need to be shipped that stuff first.
Yeah.
Lee,
I've still got hats. They're sitting right here.
I was out at MHF this year, and it was Thursday, and I was like, "Hey, Lee, what's going on?" And he's like, "What's going on? Where's my shit?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "My Michigan brew shit." I'm like, "Oh my god!"
I will say this. We are not giving shit away this year.
Okay. All right.
Yet.
Okay.
Because we haven't given away the shit that we gave away last year.
Yeah.
We'll get it. We'll get it more organized. and then maybe in 24.
Maybe we can still do the giveaway and be like, hey, if we were on our shit, you'd get a cool ass hat.
That's cool too.
But you're not going to get that hat. So, Merry Christmas.
I have one hat sitting over here myself too. So
I got a box of them. I don't know how many is in there, but one's sitting out right here.
One thing I will tell people for the hats is do not soak them in OxyClean.
That is true. Yep.
The dye on the patch will fade and stain the rest of the hat. So.
I was wondering. I wonder if that has to do with the color of the leather that I chose, because this was it wasn't their natural leather. It was a saddle brown or some shit like that.
I love it. I think it's perfect. I think just we need to sweat less.
Or see, I have a sweat line on mine.
Yeah, no, honestly, just sweat through the entirety of the hat, and then you don't have to worry about anything anymore, right?
Yep.
It all just becomes the color that it was meant to be.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what I was saying, Brandon. I think, leather was dyed and leaked color. So
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe next batch of hats. I know I'm a big hat guy and I'll wear them, but I'll do embroidered. I like the leather look, but I don't know.
It's beautiful. I don't know. I like it. Yeah. I need to order another.
I've got some here, Brian. I don't know if they're all claimed, but I don't know. I don't recall how many I ordered.
I feel like my Holmes head is off center. Maybe my head is just at a permanent tilt.
That's what I was looking at. If you see me doing this in the
screen,
I'm I don't know if I'm off center from my camera or if I wear my hat crooked or what. Anyways.
And I feel like that's where we should start to wrap up.
No, dude.
To drink.
Brian's head is off center.
We still have beers. Yeah. We have 3 more. I have my dump glass.
We have 3 more?
Don't we? We have 2 more.
2 more.
Are you sure?
We have your 2.
What's your other beer that you got there, Brian? What are you packing?
I don't know. I have a whole fridge full of stuff. So we have my Festbier, my Marzen, and then what else did we opened the Hacker Shore. We opened. Yeah, no, I think you're right.
Just 2.
Okay. All right. Let's do it. Here. I'm gonna create a dump glass right now.
All right.
All right, we're doing
So we can get to it.
the
Festbier?
BF. Yep.
Yep. B-F.
So before I guess we really get into this, Brian and Brandon, have you guys discussed your recipes at all? I know, Brian, you said yours was done with the same yeast.
It was, but I would guarantee that the recipe is probably starkly different than Brandon. So let me
get a glass of Brandon's here, and I'll put your guys side by side. When was yours brewed? His is young.
So mine was brewed.
Cutler Tower. That's what I used for my my Oktoberfest that I have on tap.
I want to say about a month ago.
Okay.
So yep, Haller Tower, Middle Fur.
Yep. Middle Fur.
Is that it?
Middle Fru? I don't know.
This is wrong because I used Diamond. This is just
carbonate.
I use these recipes often as like guideposts and don't follow them. So there we go.
The color is not that much far off between the two. Brandon's is a touch darker and hazy, and not hazy, but not as clear. But Brian, yours I can see straight through.
I just poured Brian's, both of them, the Festbier and the Marzen.
Oh, perfect.
Hold on. Let me close this out so we can get look at the
Festbier. The Festbier is slightly lighter, but not much. Excuse me.
Here, throw those up again. You just you.
Festbier. Festbier's in the Railtown glass. Marzen in the Western glass.
Yeah. It is crazy how much the Marzen is not as.
For a lack of a better term, Brian, I think you hit the nose.
Is it present at least?
No, it's
okay.
It's delicate. I mean, you get some malt, you get some hop, but there is more there than there was in either the Polliner or the Hofbrau. But also, I mean, you also think, I don't know if these have bottle dates on them.
Yeah. And plus, they've been, boated across the sea. Or
this has got a time on it of 734 for the Hofbrau. I don't know what that means. L110V, and maybe that's the 07:34 is not a time, but I feel like it's in time format.
Brandon said 60% Pils, 17% Munich, 17% Maris.
Maris Otter.
Oh, Carahel.
Oh.
Okay.
And your Festbier is superior to your Marzen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it just because you don't like Marzens, or?
No, it really does have. Your Marzen has, again, more of that malty characteristic I'm not into right now.
Still, like your Festbier is brewed with Diamond.
Yeah.
Still get that flavor.
Okay. Interesting.
Really?
Yep. It's very, very present to me. Maybe I discovered another superpower. I mean, it's that green apple flavor in this.
Yeah. The Marzen does, but not the Festbier.
No, I have the Festbier in glass.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me down Brandon's here, and I'll open up your Marzen.
I don't get the acid flavor at all in Brian's.
So Carahel,
definitely good.
Just to call that out, I'm just reading the Beersmith notes. It says light colored caramel malt, adds body color and aroma, use up to 30% in low alcohol beers.
Well, that's not. Use up to 30% in low alcohol beers. Like 6% shouldn't be causing much of anything.
So I was 87% Pilsner, 8.7 Munich, and 4.3 Victory.
What yeast did your Marzen use?
Diamond as well.
Also diamond. Okay.
Yeah.
I just smelled it. I'm like, okay, I think.
So here's my Marzen recipe. So probably more complex than it needs to be. 6 pounds Vienna, 4.4 pound, or I'm sorry, 4 pounds 4 ounces Munich, 1 pound 12 ounce Pilsner. Again, I don't know why I put together this recipe or stole it from somewhere like 4 or 5 years ago, and I just keep brewing it. 8 ounces of Victory. I threw this on a whim because I had the extra 8 ounces left from the Festbier. And then 4 ounces of Millinoiden. And I used Tet for this, like Brandon used for his Festbier. And again, this yeast is not right because I used diamond, so I need to fix that.
Yep. Still got that flavor.
You've discovered a superpower, man.
It's not
crazy. I don't get it at all on either of these beers. I was with you on Brandon. I think it's a temperature thing.
Maybe it is because mine have been sitting down here in a 6-pack for. Oh, we've been on the show for hour and a half, so they've probably been down here for 2 hours.
On the back of my tongue, like a second after swallowing, I can sort of get that citrusy thing on my Festbier. I think I get where you're coming from. Like, I wonder if I let this warm up, if I would taste that more, which makes me wonder if it's more perceptible when brewed warm and then tasted warm. But even if you brew it like, colder and let it warm up, if it's still sort of there, because, the Lallemand temperature notes only list it from 50 to 59. So who knows if they really post tasty notes for like warmer fermented, lagers or something like that.
Right. Were yours fermented warm too?
No, mine were like 53, 54.
So I'm curious why, Brandon, for you, this is my question. You have the ability to.
I got to get water. Hold on.
Why did you choose to ferment this one warm? I guess.
Wait for the answer. I sometimes forget. It's kind of like
there's a delay.
Well, there's that, but we also end up posting this as a podcast, so it's like I know people could like see us like.
Oh no, but we really
doing hang
the habit of reading the comments that we're going to talk about. But yeah,
unless he left, that's fine too.
It is. He'll probably like respond tomorrow and be like, "What fuckers?" No. I say your Festbier.
So my Festbier was also single decocted, which I wonder if it added something. I did not decoct my Marzen. So I took about 1.5 gallons of thick mash from my mash tun after about 30 minutes and boiled it lightly while stirring consistently for 20 minutes and then added it back to the mash tun.
Interesting.
So and that brought the I think I started at 148 and adding that back in after a little bit of temperature drop probably brought it back up to 158 or something. I should have. And no, Tim, I don't do protein rests. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I think I'm going to throw this into a couple competitions before the year ends.
I was muted. What did
Hi.
I miss?
I don't know. Oh, I single decocted mine, which might be a factor too. In terms
But that
of
should
taste
only
and stuff
really
like that.
affect the melanoid and like multi characteristics of the beer. Brandon didn't decoct, or did
I
he?
don't think so. But you know, it's like
So I get more of that aroma or that flavor, whatever that acid flavor, off of the Marzen than I do the Festbier, which to me seems like a little odd because a Festbier, in my opinion, is supposed to be more delicate, so it should be more present. But I don't know.
I'll crack mine open in a sec here. I gotta grab another glass.
Good.
None of them are bad beers by any means. I'd be happy to have any one of them on tap, and I would order any one of them. A coction mash. We'll let you experiment, Tim. Get back to us with the results. You doing all right there, Jason?
No. It's not quite a seltzer show because I can still remember my name. But probably wasn't a good idea to sit here and
drink, 9 beers, basically.
Yeah.
I'd say most of these are half full on my end.
Oh no, I've been keeping up. I only dumped out one. I dumped out honestly that polliner. I didn't.
You guys didn't dig it, man. That's one of my favorites.
It was.
I like it because it's boring, to be honest.
Totally. I totally get that. I drank all of that one. In fact, I mixed something into the Bell's one. I drank all of Brandon's. I drank all of the Polliner. I don't remember, but
out of your two beers, though, not Brandon, not Jason, Brian. That's the one. I do prefer the Festbier. But again, that's a style I like more.
I know. I'm gonna have to open my Marzen. Tim says, "What is a?" Did you guys address this?
I told him he needs to figure a coction mash.
A coction.
I told him he can experiment and get back to us.
You know what? As long as you boil after, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. No,
I do this for a couple of my beers, and
Brian, you mean decoction, right?
I hope so. And anything that I think needs to have like a little bit more of a complex like style, and as long as I'm not feeling too lazy, I'll just do like a single for. I will take my temperature resistant pitcher after like 30 minutes. So after 30 minutes, like most of your mash is probably converted, like at least 80%, but probably all of it. And I will take that and I will try to get as much like thick mash as I can, as much grain as I can into that pitcher. And I will just try to scoop up maybe like a gallon and a half to 2 gallons, depending on how big my mash is. And while my mash is going, I will dump it into a kettle and I will heat it up really low flame, and while stirring continuously. I do not let my exposed flame hit the bottom of like any pot without stirring it when there's like, grain and stuff in there, because I don't want to burn or scorch anything. And so for like the next 20 or 30 minutes or like whatever I'm feeling like, I will just just continually stir that grain around in circles and scrape it off the edges and stir and scrape and just have an audio book on. And it's like an arm workout, man. But then I'll let those 20-30 minutes pass, and some of the wort has boiled off. Some more like melanoidin flavors have like formed in the wort that's left, and the grain and stuff like that. I'll add that boiling liquid back to the mash tun, kind of give it a little bit of a stir, take a temperature reading. I should be more maybe like cognizant of what, of what happens anyway after that is, but like, I don't know. And I'll just let that sit for another maybe like 15-20 minutes just to like set the grain bed again after I pour the boiled decocted thick mash back in. And then I will bring that liquid into my boil pot, and I will do a batch sparge as normal. I account for how much liquid I'm probably boiling off during the decoction. So usually it's like maybe an extra half a gallon of sparge liquid that I would normally not have to use because I boiled it off.
I missed the beginning. How much do you usually decoct?
Probably what's like 40, somewhere between like 20 and 30%.
Okay.
After about 30 minutes.
After 30 minutes of mashing, then
Yep.
you're pulling, say, just to go with an average 25% of your mash off and putting it back on the flame.
Yep. And stirring constantly to make sure that it doesn't scorch at all. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. And then putting it back into the mash, and again letting it sit for another 15 or so just to set the grain bed a little bit, and then continue on with my brew day. It probably adds another 30 to 45 minutes to my brew day, but I don't know. I think I feel like it adds something. I don't know, man. Like I've only really done this for my Festbiers and for like one, I think a Dunkel before or something. And every time I brew these beers, it's like, damn, like these are really good. And I don't want to attribute it to the extra time or work that it takes to do those, because like, like I don't want to have to put so much more time into like a brew day. But at the same time, that extra time is no different than the extra time you'd spend maybe like whirlpooling a New England IPA.
Yeah.
So if you're willing to brew a New England IPA and put a little bit of extra time into it, you can brew and just do like a single decoction for like a Festbier or something. Now something like a double or a triple, those times just like compound. I mean, triple decoction, and you're talking about just like a 6-hour brew day probably, and just a ton of stirring.
Oh, that's why what
you've done that before, haven't you, Jordan?
No, I've only ever done a single.
Oh, okay.
No, but I was saying like that's kind of the main reason why that process was lost, and like it's not really practiced much anymore, is purely just the time that's put into it. Because I mean, at very least on a macro level, like we discussed earlier, like at least here in America, not really, at least most of the breweries that I've seen, not really a good way to do that. So I don't know.
Tim has a good tip. He says he does it maybe like a gallon and a half at a time in a stock pot on a stove. Like that's great. Like absolutely. And in fact, probably if you're doing it on the stove, there's maybe a little bit less of a chance of like scorching, depending on if you're like electric or gas. Yeah, I don't know. I like that approach too. But
I would
I'm
definitely
with
do
you,
that.
Tim. I think I'm with you. And in fact, I think I told you on Saturday that Doppelbock was the best beer that was out there. It was super super good. I really love that beer.
Yeah, I went to go a little off topic. Poured a little bit of my Oktoberfest.
Was it just like not carved? It looks great. The color's great. It's like nice and dark and
yeah, it's not clear by any means. But no, there's something, and I've tasted this. It's the same reason that I'm not happy. I mean, my Mexican lager. I'm not happy with it. I still got it. I need to dump it. There's just there's flavors in it I'm not digging, and I get a lot of the same shit out of this. And it's definitely not. It has to do something keg side, so I got to go through and like pull apart all my shit and clean it.
Interesting.
Maybe replace all my lines because there's like, it's like weirdly citrusy, and it shouldn't be by any means. And I remember taking samples out of the. I took one sample out of the fermenter because I've got a spigot on my brew bucket, and it tasted fine. But this is like, yeah, there's something weird about it. Not happy with it at all. There's a flavor, and I'm not sure what it is, that kind of takes over.
It's not the same acid flavor that we've been talking
about. No,
right?
It's not. No, this was brewed with using. Oh, hold on. Where's my phone? Give me a second. My recipes. Omega's Oktoberfest.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And like I said, I remember tasting it out of the fermenter and tasted great. Almost was like what I was going for. Once I got it into and this, Brian, this is what I was talking about you about doing closed transfers, because I think maybe that might be part of where one of the aspects that I think I might be, having issue with. So that could be it. Maybe a little bit of oxidation, but I think, there's a number of flavors that are coming off in this that I can't quite pinpoint. I gotta revamp everything. I told my wife, I'm like, I'm gonna take a day, and I am disassembling everything. Like my kegerator, all my kegs, like shit's getting baked, shit's getting ran through with iodine. I just bought a bunch of iodine cleaners, and everything. Okay. So like everything's getting up. What's that?
I have some professional acid line cleaner if you want some, Jordan.
Let me know what you have, because I just bought like 4 or 5 bottles of a line cleaner as well.
So it's actually a guy I know that owns a professional line cleaning company.
Oh shit! Okay.
And it's the stuff that he uses. He actually sells it to, I guess, homebrewers for $10.
Like buy the growler or something.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. All right.
It's some form of acid. Yeah. Anyway, I got it for David Jones. I got to give it to him, but I've got enough to do like a lot. Probably 64 ounces, and it's 3 ounces per gallon.
Oh wow!
Oh Jesus! Okay,
I've got enough to do at least 20 gallons of cleaner.
Yeah, I'd take you up on that, because I mean I've decided I'm taking my taps off the kegerator. Like those are getting soaked and baked and shit. So yeah, like everything's getting a big cleaning.
There was a time about this time of the year last year, maybe a little bit later, maybe it was closer to like December or January, but during Keeper's Cup, I submitted a double IPA that I thought was awesome, and it ended up getting the lowest score in the competition. And I tasted a bottle that I, had bottled otherwise, and I was like, "Damn! Like, what happened to this thing?" And then I submitted like a Czech pill somewhere, and another beer somewhere else, and like, I kind of kept getting these similar comments coming back about this one particular flavor. And I definitely think I had some sort of weird infection. So I took my, counterflow bottler and my like racking cane, and I ran uh like hot, almost boiling water through like a lot of my beer lines. And
Yep.
I should have replaced my beer lines. I need to replace my beer lines.
I'm probably going to. Like,
so I'll tell you.
If you want to go in on a buy,
I've never replaced my beer lines. It's been
a bad touch now.
It's been 6 to 7 years now, and I've never replaced them. But after every batch, I run PPW and Star San separately. PPW, then water, then Star San through them. So like I take really good care of them. But I maybe need to break down my taps more often. Because I definitely don't do that often. And I have flow control tabs, which have more like crevices that shit can probably get stuck in.
That's something I haven't done.
I need to do that more probably.
Like I've got a little like cleaning brush that you can shove up in there. You open up the tap and you kind of clean it out. And I do that regularly, but I've never and I've had my kegerator for 10 years. I've never taken the taps off and just like soaked everything. Like, and I'm talking like shanks, all of it, putting them in cleaner, like, because like I submitted my my Vienna lager, which when it was first in the keg, in the first couple weeks it was in the keg, tasted fantastic. And then I submitted it to competitions, and it was one of my lowest scoring beers, and I had some left over after competitions, and I tried it, and like this is just not the same beer that it was that I remember drinking a couple weeks ago. So there was something weird going on. So, I mean, kegs are getting taken apart, dip tubes are getting cleaned, scrubbed, baked, like everything that I can do.
I don't want my surprise, Jason. He says y'all are in for a surprise when you take your taps apart. I don't want my surprise. No.
What do we win, Jason?
Yeah. You didn't say a prize.
It's a super prize. That's what a surprise is, right? No, but I figure since I'm putting a lot more focus on like more delicate beers. Like I'm brewing a lot more lagers now than I ever have before. In fact, pretty much 100% of what I've brewed this year has been lagers. Granted, that's only been like 3 beers. So I'm not brewing as much as I used to, which is sad, but got a 2-year-old. So, doing what I can, but, yeah, I figured it's time to take everything apart. And
I agree.
Yeah, I can. I not that it's a bad thing, but I will honestly say I don't think I'll be using this diamond yeast.
You just because of the citricy flavor that you get out of all these.
Yeah, well, because what I'm trying to chase is these guys, off brow spotting and all that. So I'm gonna try. That's what I'm gonna try chasing. Like, these aren't bad beers, and I'd be immensely happy with any of them if they came off my own taps. There's just that one flavor in there that kind of differentiates between those classic styles that, now that I know that it technically comes from the yeast, makes me want to avoid them if I'm going towards this style.
As I drink my Marzen, I almost get something that I want to call Play-Doh. Like, it's not, but like something kind of reminds me of it.
Is it kind of like on the middle of back of your tongue?
Maybe, yeah. Like
Like
I
back
get it
there?
like 20 seconds later. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, like, yeah, I don't know.
And it's not bad. And that's, honestly, that's why, and probably why I like Polliner so much, is because it has such a clean finish that there's nothing that I'm tasting after I drink the beer. And that's not inherently a bad thing, or necessarily a good thing. It's just personal preference. But yeah, with these styles, since all of them have used the same yeast, like they're not, if that's a yeast characteristic, it's not something that I would use for these styles if you're chasing these German classic styles in the future, knowing that that's something that yeast can produce both within warm and cold fermentation.
Yeah, I think
now, granted,
learned something tonight.
Yeah,
depending on palate.
Well, yeah, depending on palate,
Yeah,
and then also like it's not like I'm never going to try a beer that's brewed in these styles with that yeast in the future, like, because who knows? Like, maybe not saying you guys are some of the best brewers that I know, and I'm not saying it's your fault, but maybe it'll happen to somebody else and it won't be there. Who fucking knows?
yeah,
I don't know. You guys could brew the same beer, next month and it won't be there. So,
I'll challenge you.
Let's do it. Challenge me. Do it, Brian.
Well, we're out of beer for the most part, except for what we have in our glasses. Jason is looking like he can't feel his face. So
can't feel my face. But that means that's
a bad thing.
It just means it's a Monday. Yeah.
You know what though? What sucks is, unlike seltzer episodes, I'm well aware that I can't feel my face.
Because you haven't went through 12 sets of seltzers in an hour.
Yeah.
So now we've learned, Brian, we just got to have enough drinks to get Jason beyond
perfect.
That threshold.
There's a three. Yeah, exactly.
Gotta go hard
and early. That's...
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fucking water with alcohol. Fuck you,
Tim. I think Tim said something about getting mom water. Yeah. You got to get mom water this year too. So
I'm all for it.
So Brandon Vlier brought this out to Tim's on Saturday, and it's basically water and vodka, and it's not carbonated, and it's flavored, and like that's all it is. But it was pretty fucking tasty. I tried some of it.
It's basically water, vodka, and meat.
Yeah, and
then somebody put it into a can. They cut out the carbonation level.
How much money? I think it was like $21 or $22 for like a 6 or 8 pack or something. Like
Jesus,
so much. It's
so in my travels recently, whatever. Just in this thing that I've been introduced to that I've been finding more of lately is ranch water. You guys had that?
Oh yes,
yeah.
I love ranch water. I was making that shit before I even knew what it was.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it's a margarita, but with no margarita mix. It's just lime, tequila, and carbonated water.
Seltzer water. Yep.
Yep. Seltzer water. That's it. And it's
fantastic. Even I had one once or somewhere where they put like tagine around the rim too.
Ooh,
hell yeah.
Okay.
Fucking good.
I used to, back when the Costco Año tequila was like $20 for a liter. Now it's like 48 or some shit. Yeah, it went way the fuck up. But it's fantastic. It's like somewhere in between Raspado and an Año. Like it's a little bit of a darker Año, or on however you say it. I don't know. I don't know my.
I have no idea what you're talking
about.
I don't know anything
Whatever.
About tequila.
But I'd take that and I'd just have I had carbonated water on at the time, or seltzer water. And sorry, there's a bug flying around me. It'd just be a shot or two of the tequila in water, and I'd drink that, and it was actually good. It was tasty. Cool. I loved it. So, and then I found out ranch water was a fucking thing. I'm like, damn it.
Done.
This shit's lit. It's good.
Okay.
It is.
Yeah. Anyway, it's time to go to bed.
Okay, man. We can do that.
All right.
We have a couple shows lined up. We're gonna get Matthew Harold. Matt Harold. I'm gonna have to ask him if he goes by Matt or Matthew. But we're gonna have him on to talk about main brews and the Master Homebrewers program. We're gonna get some of the Keepers of Craft BJC peeps on to talk about studying for the BJCP online exam. I'm signed up to do the BJCP tasting exam in April of next year. So if we can get more people to pass the
I've got 2 more attempts.
online exam, yeah, I think Tom Wick has a couple spots open. Brandon, if you're still watching, I know you've passed already, and if you want to take the tasting exam, let me know. I'll get you his email. And if you guys, Jason, Jordan, pass it, let me know. And
that's my goal. I need to get, I think, like I told you, I need to
too.
get with you and discuss like how to read your spreadsheet a little easier, because I didn't really look at it before I jumped into it. And honestly, taking the exam after thinking about the exam and drinking beers while having dinner and then just coming down and taking it without like reading shit through, just blind, was probably not great, but I didn't do too bad.
Yeah.
But that's
I think buying the 3-pack is the good choice, and then just taking it once and being like, okay, what is this all about? And being like, oh shit, yeah, this is fine, and some of this is like, oh fuck, like
raw dogged it.
Who the fuck knows that? Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely raw dogged this shit.
Yeah.
Drunkenly.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm pretty sure if I even give it, 25 minutes, I'd probably pass it. So
sweet.
But 18 minutes was a little short.
Because of the way that we run the show lately, not sure if we'll be back next week.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Good night, guys.
Yeah.
we don't have a set topic right now, even though we have a few shows planned for next month. So we'll
visit our page, follow us. You'll find something that we post if we're there. If not, we'll tell you.
All right. Thanks, Brandon. Yeah. Cheers, everyone. And
cheers.
Have a good night. We will catch everybody on the flip side. Bye.